and Jim Nantz, now a CBS colleague of this man who deserves every last bit of congratulations on his new deal with CBS Sports after yeoman's work in the booth with Kevin Burkhardt for so many years, number 2 crew on Fox, one of our great friends, Charles Davis. How are you, CD?
I'm doing great, Rich. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it very, very much. Trust you and your family are still healthy and safe, as I hope everyone who can hear our voices is the same.
Yes, thank goodness we're all healthy and well, and that does include my children coming into my office several times during last night's 4-hour broadcast of this schedule, because that's where the iPads were being charged. We thankfully there was, they snuck in, snuck out. I was able to conduct my appointed rounds. So you have no idea what your games are, right? I mean, I know that's a crazy question, but
no, not at the moment.
Okay, so
not at the moment.
But I'm wondering what your first blush thoughts of that week 1 schedule. I just kind of broke it all down. What leaps out to you, Charles?
Well, immediately, we knew obviously what Kansas City would be doing in terms of hosting, who they would get. Well, that wasn't a major surprise. But I think everyone's locked in on Sunday night, New Orleans and Tampa. I mean, it's hard to get past that, isn't it?
That's going to be great.
My goodness. I mean, right out of the gate, we wondered what it would be. We knew it would be one of the primes, right? I mean, duh. You knew Brady would be in one of them, but would it be Monday night, Sunday night? We knew it wasn't going to be Thursday. So that one just jumped right out at me, right out of the gate. We just thought, okay, makes sense. All right, this is fantastic. Let's move this bad boy along. And then you just kind of, as you go through the schedule, you can't help but look at quarterback matchups. But I have one that I found interesting early, deep into the schedule, Rich, in December. A playoff team that is trying its best to make that last step, thought they were going to a couple of years ago, didn't get there, foiled again last year in the divisional round, the Minnesota Vikings. And remember, Kirk Cousins was supposed to be the guy that put him over the top. Well, here's Tampa Bay, getting Brady, Gronk, having a good draft, great offseason. They're trying to go essentially from worst to first and compete for a Super Bowl in their home stadium. That's a game in December. Playoff team, non-playoff team, although you don't suspect that the Tampa Bay will be that. That one looks like fun because Kirk Cousins was supposed to be the difference. And here you've got a chance going against TB12. It's just games like that fascinate me, Rich.
Charles Davis here on the Rich Eisen Show. And how about the Buffalo Bills, man? I know you'll be calling a few of those games now with CBS. The Bills have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 nationally televised appearances, and they earned it, man. I mean, they went into Dallas and spanked them on Thanksgiving. They went into Houston and should have won that playoff game. They've got some guys that are going to be winding up on your fantasy team as opposed to previous years. How good do you think the Bills can be, Charles?
I think they can be very good. I think for the Bills, their biggest hurdle, truthfully, Rich, in my mind, is just the specter of New England. Because they will go into the season as the favorite in the AFC East. And when was the last time we said anyone was the favorite in the AFC East other than New England?
Yeah.
Like even the years New England didn't win it outright, they tied for it. And remember, we had that crazy, quirky year where they won 11-5 with Matt Castle after TB12 got hurt in Game 1 at Kansas City and didn't make the playoffs. Just one of those weird seasons that something like that would happen at 11-5. So for Buffalo, the good thing they've got going for them is they played New England really tough. I mean, that's not been an easy one. Look, last year, Buffalo was probably right on NFL Network Air, if I remember correctly, Rich, that Saturday.
Yep.
If Josh Allen doesn't airmail that throw to Dawson Knox late in the game in the end zone.
My gosh.
Right there. So, to me, it's the specter of New England for Buffalo more than anything else. I think this is a team that's still on the rise. And Josh Allen, I'll guarantee you he's putting the work in the offseason, even though we're all limited because of the pandemic that's out there.
Another team, too, that you'll be seeing more often than not that I'm fascinated by is Denver. Nobody's going to, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to be flying under the radar. We're going to be talking about the defending Super Bowl champs. We're going to be talking about, is Justin Herbert taking over for the Chargers? We're absolutely going to be talking about the Raiders for good reason. But nobody's going to be talking about the Broncos, whose offense, if Locke can show up in the manner in which he was beginning to show up at the end of last year, they can make some hay with Fangio tightening the bolts on the defense as the HC. Charles, wouldn't you say?
And you know where else they got good, Rich? It's easy on offense to say, okay, you've added Melvin Gordon to Phillip Lindsay in the backfield. Check. You've added at the tight end position in the draft Alberto going in there with Noah Fant. Obviously, Judy and Hamler adding to the receiving core. But they got better in the interior. Graham Glasgow coming from Detroit right now is penciled in to be the starting center. But then they drafted Lloyd Cushenberry out of LSU, who I think is a natural starting center. And Glasgow's got great experience playing guard. Either way, I expect both of them to be in the lineup, whichever configuration they want. And now you've gotten better in front of your quarterback. And what drives a quarterback craziest in the NFL? Got pressure. Those two will help tamp that down. So I think they made a lot of good moves in the offseason.
Okay, I know we just went a little bit under the radar here. What do you think of the Colts and Phillip Rivers? Did you, by the way, hear about Phillip's announcement today, Charles?
Another baby?
I love that's where your first thought went.
By the way, that was like a Family Feud moment. Top 5 answers on the board. Here's your question. Phillip Rivers made this big announcement today. You just buzzed in with baby. Do you have the buzzer, Mike?
No.
Do you not have the buzzer? Show me. You do have the buzzer.
No,
the
I played
buzzer?
I played it off of YouTube. I'm sorry. I'll get it.
Show me, baby. No.
Wow.
No, he announced that he is going to be. Wow, that is fantastic.
That would be number 10.
He is the next, but not on the on the Phillip Rivers board,
Yes,
not on our top
yes,
10
on
answers. No, he is going to be taking over the head coach of the high school football program at St. Michael Catholic in Fairhope, Alabama, when he's done playing.
Oh, he is doing it then. He's absolutely doing it because he did say that, obviously his father was a coach, and Phillip, the famous story of him throwing the football and that motion coming from the big football.
Right.
The whole deal, and here he is following in Dad's footsteps, and he did mention that about his kids being that age and wanting to coach them. He's actually doing it. And obviously, look, the broadcasting gig was out there for him if he wanted it. Plenty of people were in play for him. But he's going to follow his heart and go ahead and do the coaching. Now, the crazy part is, Dave Logan up in Denver. Dave does the Broncos radio and has for years. Dave stayed as a coach of high school football while doing the Broncos radio. A little bit different than network TV because of timing.
Sure.
But he did that for years, and by the way, won a ton of state championships up there. They were very good. Congratulations to Phillip, and maybe extra congratulations to Mrs. Rivers that there's not baby number 10 on the way for her.
Right. But I don't think Phillip – a lot of people are talking about Phillip, one-year deal, one and done in Indianapolis. I know they picked Jacob Eason, but I don't see Eason as the starting quarterback there in 2021. I see Phillip maybe sticking around here, certainly if he wins and gets to a Super Bowl, gets close to it.
If he plays at a high level, Rich, if he plays at a high level, Chris Ballard and Frank Reich will be bringing another contract to him. And I expect Phillip to want to play. He loves playing football. He'll take over being a high school coach when the time's right. But if he still feels that he's playing at that Phillip Rivers level, which was just 2 years ago, was a pretty darn good level, yeah, I can see that. I'm with you on that one. Jacob Eason, I don't think is like a super threat right away. Jacob Eason, we'll find out about him, Rich, if their season really goes awry, which I don't expect it to do in Indianapolis. I expect them to be very good.
All right, and now I've got 2 minutes left with you, Charles. So who is the favorite in the AFC? Is it the defending champions, world champion Chiefs? And I don't ask that question with any disrespect. Normally, you do have to put the defending Super Bowl champions atop a conference that they won. But the Ravens did finish as the 1 seed last year. And the Chiefs and the Ravens never faced each other in the playoffs, thanks to Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill and the Titans. Who do you install as the favorites to win the conference that you'll be covering the most on CBS?
I do install Kansas City because it feels like a college return. 20 of 22 starters, and Rich, unfortunately, because of the pandemic, they never really got tested in terms of resolve in the off season. You know what it's like for a Super Bowl champ.
Right.
Everyone's doing commercials, TV shows, radio shows, all the whole deal. They haven't had to really do that. It's been a quiet one. So they are the favorites. Baltimore has unfinished business, obviously, and they got way better in the off season free agency and in the draft. Don't overlook Tennessee. They announced to the world, we're going to play Tennessee football, aren't we, by drafting Isaiah Wilson in the first round, the right tackle from Georgia. So it's going to be fun to see. And look, Mike Vrabel's got the best Swiss watch guard that we've ever seen during the draft sitting by his desk. So he's good to go.
Yeah, Kingsbury called it the circus when we had him on talking about his beautiful Bond hangout, draft setup. But
oh my God. Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury won. I mean, let's face it, he won no matter what. The best for me was seeing him there. And how everyone had all the accoutrements around him. Even B.A., he may have had the glass of wine out there, but he had the computers and sitting out on the deck and, of course, doing it very B.A.-ish.
Right.
Cliff was chilling. I didn't see a computer. I didn't see all the rest of that stuff there. Cliff, I got this under control, folks. I'm winning.
Because it was all out in the cabana. That's why. Hey, Charles, congrats.
It was beautiful. We're all jealous.
Congrats on your new gig, brother. You're well deserving of it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and let me know when you get when you get your new blazer with the CBS logo on it. Take a picture. I want to see it. I still have my blazer right here in the closet of the Rich Eisen Show green room. I still have mine from the U.S. Open years ago.
I love that. I have my original CBS Sports blazer when I was doing sidelines at NCAA tournament back in the closet. I've always been afraid to take it down and try it on.
It still fits, Charles. You're still the same slender man. You're a fine wine. Thanks for the call, Charles.
Be good. Thank you, Rich.
You got it. That's Charles Davis. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.